So imagine this. If you want to create a new AWS account, all you have to do is add a few lines of code to a YAML file, and that's all you need. Check this out. Copy this piece of code, add it here, make some changes. Let's call it test account 7007. Obviously, remove the account ID. Make sure the root email is slightly unique compared to others. Save it. And let's wait for a couple of minutes. We should have a new account. So while it's doing its magic, we are using org formation built by Olaf Konin. I hope I said that right. From so org formation CLI, as the tagline says, better than landing zones. Yes, it's a lot more easier and better way managing AWS organizations, maintaining the structure. If you want to add new accounts, create new accounts, manage OUs, like we want to create new organizational units, move accounts between organizational units, and basic actions, basic activity like that, like those, as well as if you want to do automation on new accounts, whenever a new account is created, you want to create a new role, if you want to enable CloudTrail. So if you want to run a serverless app, if you even want to run a CDK app once a new account is created, run all of this using a pipeline. So all of these are options you can make use of. These are features of org formation. So I strongly recommend checking out org formation from built by Olaf. An amazing tool. Because we don't have most of my automations, most of the work I do, most of the code I do is built with CDK for building infrastructure for delivering automation, and CDK based on CloudFormation, and CloudFormation does not have support for organization, and it makes it difficult, especially for creating new accounts and making changes to OUs. So we have this is completed. Ignore all of the errors. Apparently, the role it's trying to use is not available in my organization because I'm using Control Tower. And Control Tower, whenever it creates a new account, it makes use of a different role other than the organization access role. So take a look at the organization. So this is my organization. We have test 005, 006. We don't see 007 here. Let me do a refresh. We hopefully see it here. So what it says is it's created the new account and it's committed a hash. So basically it maintains a state. So whenever there's a change to the org structure, whenever it makes any changes to the organization, it commits that change to a state file, which is created in an S3 bucket. I can see if it's actually created. So there we go. We have test 007, with its created today. It's nice. So that's all it takes to create a new account. And if you want to add that to an OU, say we have an OU here, which is old OU, and I want to add it here to test account 005, and I want to do that to 6 and 7. Let's do 6, let's do 7. I save it, push that change. It's going to show up here, the OU which I have for dumping my old accounts, essentially for test accounts which I create for testing for automations such as these. This OU is designated for deletion. I mean the accounts to be deleted. So any any account which you add, which I add to this OU is scheduled to be deleted. So you see already 2 accounts have been suspended. These accounts will be suspended in the future. So these are not straight away deleted or removed from the, it's called closing, right? I mean, it's not closed already because AWS has a restriction, quota restriction of 10% of all accounts can only be deleted in a 30 days window. So I make use of an automation for automatically closing the accounts in a schedule. So check out this repo here for auto closing AWS accounts. So that's something which again I've built with CDK. So now org formation is making the change. There you go. It says it's attached all of these 3 accounts which we wanted to move to the OU. So right now these were in the root OU, which means they were not part of any specific OU, but they were just lying outside of these OUs. They were part of the root OU, and we've added them to the old OU. So if we do a refresh here, yeah, none of them are the root OU. All of these are part of the old OU. So currently these will be deleted over a period of 30 days. I think 10% of these mini accounts is going to be 3 accounts, which is in the next cycle, hopefully gets deleted. It's closed, and then these two will be closed after 30 days. Automatically, all of that. So coming to the core of this video, which is making all of these changes through the CLI is fun. And org formation has a ton of other options as well, which is including create, it's called init pipeline. So basically you can do all of this in a pipeline. So whenever you push changes, whenever you make a change to this YAML file here, this YAML file, you make a change, you push that to a version control system code repository, and then it kicks off a pipeline which will automatically deploy those changes. And then, so org formation, the tool itself manages the pipeline for you. So it's one way to do it. And it has the facilities of adding more functionality, such as you can add a serverless app to be executed. You can have a CDK app to be executed. All of that is fine. But for me, I did not want to give the pipeline or have org formation create the pipeline. I wanted to build my own pipeline using CDK. So essentially, we'll have we'll build a CDK app which will create a code pipeline, and and also we create a code commit repository where we hold the org.yaml file, and any changes we do to that org.yaml file will kick off the code pipeline which we create through CDK, and we have control of the pipeline. We build this from scratch. So all we have to do is if we make any change to the org.yaml file, push that to this code commit repository. It's going to initiate this pipeline, which will install org formation and update and run the update command over using the org.yaml file, which we just made a change to. And this also has necessary permissions for creating accounts, adding, moving accounts to between OUs. So let's see how we can make use of this pipeline, which is created using CDK, make a change in our organization. So let's clone, zoom in, change to that directory. The repository comes with a default org.yaml file, which is a templated one. So let's, we're doing this locally, run an init command so that it brings down all of the latest updates from your organization. So it's the latest hierarchy, latest structure of your organization. So build that out. While another change we have to do is click to the location where you built this out, go to CDK pipeline stack. So this is the stack, the CDK stack, which will create the pipeline for us. I remember I mentioned we have a state file being saved in an S3 bucket. So this pipeline needs to have access to that bucket as well. So whenever it makes change to the organization, it needs to read the state file, and after the change is made, it updates the state file in an S3 bucket. So we'll have to give access to that S3 bucket for the pipeline. And we'll have to make a change to this resource, just generate. So update this with your account ID. Let me grab mine while the update is happening. Assume all profile. Let me get the account ID. What's the account ID? Change. Now we've made the changes. Let's go ahead and we've also destroyed the previously deployed app. Let's check if the changes are good. Quickly evaluates the CDK app is good to go. Okay, it says it's good. Let's deploy. It's going to ask us to confirm because it's deploying with additional IAM permissions for the pipeline, because remember we looked at the pipeline having permissions to make changes to the organization. It's access to a specific S3 bucket and another permission here. So it's going to ask all of the, it says these are the changes it's going to make. Just like Terraform apply, asks for all of changes. Say yes. Nice color-coded formatting. It says it's deploying. So basically it creates the way CDK works. For those of you who don't know how CDK, what CDK does is it basically creates a CloudFormation template with the code they've written. So we've written the CDK app in Python, asking, making use of libraries or constructs. And in our case, we create a code pipeline, we create a code commit repository, and we run a few build commands in the code build stage. So all of this is translated into a CloudFormation template, and that is run on the account. So think of it as a glorified wrapper around CloudFormation. If you're like me, if you're like, there are tons of other people who don't like CloudFormation, CDK app is for you. I mean, CDK is just amazing when it comes to the ability for you to code in any language. You can build CDK in Golang and JavaScript, in Java, in Python, pretty much any popular coding language out there, and build infrastructure using that. And if you're held towards, or you have been building Terraform for a long time, and most of your infrastructure is built with Terraform, you can make use of Terraform, CDK for Terraform. So that's a project which is built in collaboration with the HashiCorp team, the Terraform team. The CDK for Terraform is they build constructs, Terraform constructs for CDK. So basically you can build Terraform, just like the way this CDK app, what we have here, spits out CloudFormation for AWS. You can have CDK spit out Terraform code and run that against any of these cloud vendors. Terraform has this an ocean of support for lots of providers. So you can build your CDK app in any of these languages and have the CDK app spit out a Terraform file, .tf file, which you can run on any of these providers, any of these platforms. which is just amazing. So you don't need to learn the HashiCorp configuration language, the HCL language with which you'll have to build out Terraform code. And if you're proficient, or if you're already building an application in Go, in C Sharp, and Java, TypeScript, Node.js, JavaScript, whatever, you can make use of the same language you're using for building your application for building the infrastructure as well. So how cool is that? So the CDK app is being deployed. Let's quickly go to the code pipeline. This ritual here. It's failed because we don't have the photo repositories. Formation was created. There's no code here yet. So once the app is deployed, we can go ahead and push our changes. That should deploy. That should kick off the pipeline again. So right now it's obviously going to be failed. It's failed. So let's give it a couple more minutes. Couple more seconds, if you will. So let's do this. I think we have made changes. Let's do remove this git file, put in it, remove um, yep, so that's our code commit repository which we just created, CDK formation. Let's quickly confirm. Yep, so that's CDK formation. So towards its status. Let's add all of these. What this is out. Commit. The should commit. While we did that, let's open up. Let's make a change before we actually push out the code, right? So this is the auth file. Previously, we created a new account, just account 007. So let's do this. Let's create a new account. Well, actually, instead of creating a new account, let's move an account outside of. Let's remove this from the old OU, right? Do that. Save it. Git status. Git and CDK. So git comment. Move 007 account. Let's push this code. Yep. Okay, it's just pushed. So you see this, you zoom in a bit. We install organization formation here. We run the update command here, and we see the same error. I mean, because these are for the roles, because we're making use of control tower in this organization, and organization, this tool, the organization formation tool, assumes we make use of the role, the default role, which is organization access role, account access role. That's what it's named. But because we make use of control tower, we make use of a different role name. Ignore that. I mean, our objective was to detach account 007 from the OU, which is here. So we have the OU named old, and we have the account here, and we want to move it out of the OU. Do a quick refresh. It should be out of the OU, and it shows out in the root OU. So, and that's what we see here as well. So it's detached that, committed the hash, into the state file in the S3 bucket, which we gave access to. And that's all it is. So every time we want to make a change, all we have to do is make a change to this file here locally, push that to the version control system. In our case, it's code commit, and it kicks off a pipeline, which we have